Hello home bosses, and thank you for coming back to my channel. Today I'm going to make a video about my income report for June, and I know my video for my income report for May was quite popular, and a lot of you have left really nice comments saying that they've been really encouraged and motivated. So I hope this month's video will motivate you even more, because this month was even better than May. So I quickly show you the figures for the month of June. So this is what I made for the month of June, between June the 1st and June the 30th. So that's $1,987.63. So that's not bad. I'm really happy with that. I've only got 424 books. So what can I tell you about this? More or less, I think I've been selling the same kind of books that I sold in May, but obviously I sold more of them. And there was one book in particular that has really taken off, and I really couldn't tell you why. It's a mystery, because it's an ordinary book. I've got very similar books and they're all doing well, but this particular book has really taken off and sold a lot of copies. So I wouldn't say that is the reason why this month is better, but it's part of the reason. But overall, all the books have been selling well. The situation in the world at the moment isn't making it easier. I know a lot of people say that people are buying more online and people are reading more. But here in the UK, Amazon has had very long delivery dates. So, for example, last month, if you ordered a book, it was giving you a delivery date of like 2 weeks, So I don't think people are patient. I think when people order on Amazon, they want something delivered the next day. So that didn't help. But that also makes me think that things can only get better, because now delivery dates are back to normal. Hopefully they stay that way. Obviously it depends where your market is, where you're selling. So the USA might be different, Canada might be different, I don't know. I don't sell a lot in those marketplaces. Let me see if we can find out. There we are. So amazon.co.uk, you can see 91.6% of my books are sold in the UK, only 7.1% on amazon.com, 0.5% in Canada, 0.5% in Spain, and 0.2% in Germany. And that is because I've got some books in Spanish and some in German, because I speak both languages. And that is the other thing that you can do if you speak another language, a second language, or if your first language isn't English. Start creating books in your own language, or in any language that you can create books in, because it's worth doing. It's not a great amount, but it all adds up. And it's another opportunity that you have. If you speak another language, make use of it and create some books in those languages. So, what can I tell you about this month? What kind of books are selling? Well, first of all, I think that in my case, I'm selling a lot of journal type books. So when I say journals, I don't mean lined notebooks. I mean prompted journals. They are books that tell you or that ask you questions. I'm not going to tell you the niches. You'll have to find them yourself. But they're mainly books where you ask your reader questions and they have to fill it out. So they're the type of books that are selling well for me. I've also noticed that I've been starting to sell more lined notebooks, which is strange because they haven't sold for months, and suddenly I'm starting to sell some of them. So that is good news, because it is telling you that it's not the end of lined notebooks. They're still selling, and there's still money to be made with lined notebooks. But I would say to you, don't concentrate on them. If you're starting on KDP, start with lined notebooks because they're easy to produce. But don't carry on with them. Don't produce hundreds of lined notebooks. Make a few so that you know how the process works, and then progress to low content or better content books. But some are selling, so that's good. And now that Q4 is coming up, which is the Christmas or the pre-Christmas time, they should be starting to sell more as well. But it's always better to make other types of books, better quality books. They are still, in my opinion, the way to go to increase your monthly earnings. And the other thing I can say is I've got a couple of coloring books, but they're not really selling for me. And considering the time it takes to create coloring books, I don't think I will be producing some in the next few months. Maybe next year. I want to produce a coloring book that I actually draw myself, where I make the artwork. So that will be exciting from a creative point of view. But at the moment, I haven't got the time to do that because I'm trying to increase my monthly earnings. So that's my strategy for now, especially because of Q4 coming up. And I'm telling you, if you haven't started, now is a really good time to start, because you can prepare for Q4 and expect your books to sell, because they will sell in Q4. You will have more sales than at other times of the year. And the other thing I wanted to mention is adverts. I know that you're going to ask me, did you run any adverts to create this amount? So the answer to that is yes, I did run some adverts, but I only ran them for a few days. And I really don't know what I'm doing with adverts, because I think it was about a week that I ran some of the adverts, and I ran it on books that were already selling, but I wanted to sell more of them, because I thought if they're already selling, they must be popular. So hopefully it won't be too expensive to run ads. Boy, was I wrong. It was very expensive to run ads. It didn't work for me. I didn't lose any money, but I just about broke even. So for me, it wasn't worth the experiment. Well, I say it wasn't worth it. It was worth it because I learned something. I learned that I have to learn a lot more about making adverts or creating adverts for my books. I don't know enough about it. And I followed different strategies from different people on YouTube that I trust and that have made a good living with adverts, but they didn't work for me. And I think Amazon adverts are a little bit like gambling. I think unless you know what you're doing, you can lose money really quickly. So I switched all my adverts off, and I can honestly say that my sales didn't stop. I still continued to sell my books very well. So out of that amount, out of the $1,987, I probably spent around 80 on ads. So, it's really, it wasn't worth it for me, but I will look into it in the future. I will try and learn more about ads. Every time I try ads, I learn something. I get a little bit closer to finding out how to do it. But there's just so many ways of doing adverts. And again, I haven't got the time at the moment because I'm trying to produce a lot of content. And this is the problem when you're in a business like this. There are so many courses you can take. There are so many YouTube videos you can watch. And at the beginning, I started watching so many YouTube videos, taking so many courses that I wasn't really producing anything. And now what I'm doing is I'm stopping all of that and I'm starting to produce. I'm starting to create more books, and I'm still learning. I still buy courses because I feel that you have to keep bettering yourself, and there's always something else to learn. But I make sure that my time is spent on creating, or more time is spent on creating than on watching YouTube videos and learning that way. Because if you don't produce anything, it doesn't matter how much you learn. You have to start producing those books. So now I have a really good timetable, and I will make a video about that schedule that I use, so that maybe you can use that yourself, because it's very useful to have a schedule so that you're organized and you know what you're doing every day. And that is how I worked this month, and I think that's why this month, or sorry, I should say the month of June, that is why June was a good month for me. And I hope that July will be even better. And the other thing I wanted to mention is I didn't sell any coloring books. I haven't got any puzzle books. They take a lot of time to produce. Like I said, to produce a coloring book, if you're doing it yourself and you're not outsourcing it, it takes a lot of time. And in that time, you can produce other books that can sell just as well. The last thing that remains for me to say is you don't need a lot of tools, and you don't need a lot of expensive tools. Again, I will make a video about the tools that I do use, but I will also tell you how to use free tools, because when you're starting, sometimes it's not easy to buy all these tools because you haven't earned any money yet. So I will show you how to use free tools. But this month, I think I increased my earnings because I'm using Creative Fabrica. And Creative Fabrica is fantastic for images, for vectors, for anything, really, for fonts. So I'm paying for their monthly subscription because it's absolutely worth it for me, because I create a lot of books now and I don't have to worry about the licenses. Creative Fabrica is very safe. I will leave a link in the comments below, or in the description of the video below. It is an affiliate link, and if you decide to subscribe to them, I'm very grateful, because that supports my channel and helps me produce more videos. But you don't have to subscribe if you find it difficult, because they also have free giveaways. So I think there's a tab on Creative Fabrica and it says freebies or free. So you can go there and you can find really useful images and graphics and use them for your books. And the other tools that I use, again, Tangent templates. I mention that in nearly every video, and that's because it's such a good tool. And then I use a few free ones like the Amazon Expander, drop-down expander. You don't need a lot, but make sure that the tools that you do use are really useful to you. Maybe somebody else has got other tools they use and they find them useful. You can only really find out by trying them out and see what works for you. So I hope this video has motivated you, because that is what I want to do with my videos. I really want to motivate you, because I was in that situation that you are in now, where I was stuck. I didn't know what I was going to create or what I was going to make. I knew I wanted to make money from home, and this is probably the best way. KDP has been so far the best return for my time spent. So I can recommend that this is one of the ways that you can create a home business. As you know, I also do blogging, and the two combine very well, because I will show you later on how you can actually blog about your books to promote them. So that will be for another video. But for now, I just wanted to motivate you and tell you to keep going. I was where you are. You know, it's not easy. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, and you don't earn lots of money straight away. But everything that you do every day where you create something, it adds up, and it will pay off in the long term. After a few months, or maybe even before, it just depends on how much time you have per day to dedicate to this. You know, you can start earning some money, and you just have to keep trying, because there is no formula for this. What works for me may not work for you, and what somebody else is doing may not be the right thing for me to do. So you have to try your own way. But that is the best way. That is, you know, you can analyze what you're doing. If you're not making any money, don't keep doing the same thing over and over, because then that's showing you it's not working. So you have to change some things. And that is the way I did it. Every time I was producing something, or I produced a book that I thought was fantastic and it didn't sell, yes, it's demotivating and it doesn't feel very nice, but then you just create another one and make it different. Go for a different niche, go for a different design, change things. That is the way you will find what works for you, and you can do what I have done in a different way maybe, but you can definitely do it. I think if I can do it, anybody can do it. So stay motivated and don't give up. People always give up just before they start to make it. So don't do that. Just keep going and it will become right for you. So that's all I wanted to say. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you start your KDP journey if you haven't started, and I hope that you can elevate your KDP journey to the next level if you have already started. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell for my next video, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.